My name is Sanjay Gupta. I am a partner with Deloitte. I primarily lead the banking sector for Deloitte Consulting. Obviously, it is an honor here today to speak about a topic which is not only kind of impacting the way Indian economy is growing, but also in a way reshaping, how we all interact with money today, right? If you really see, I think financial services is the most transforming sector today, and we are witnessing a kind of a revolution in the way we are imagining, we are consuming, we are delivering financial services products. And if you look at the primarily the topic about innovation, it is a convergence of, if you really look at the whole technology which is available with us today, the kind of push which is coming in from the government through various reforms and the budgetary notations, the regulators which are primarily, opening up their own avenues, and obviously the most important is the customer expectations which are there. Now, if you really look at the last decade, primarily was all about financial inclusion, right? I think most of the developments, most of the efforts were focused on bringing large masses into the financial gamut, and that's where we have spoken enough about UPI. We have spoken enough about Jan Dhan. We have spoken enough about the large population, proliferation of financial services into the tier 2, tier 3 rural cities, rural sectors and all of that. And this financial inclusion push in a way has provided now the right platform for what we can call it innovation, which is at a very different level. And if you really look at, it's not just about digitization. If you really look at, it is about intelligent innovation which we are looking at going forward in FY25 and further, basically. Right? These are some of the numbers I'm not going to go through, but obviously, this is where the right platform is available, and it provides us to innovate all of us into various kind of services and products going forward. Now, if you really look at any innovation, okay, in our opinion, can only succeed if these are the four, quadrants which are really fixed, basically. The first one is obviously about the consumer itself, right? I'm saying for any innovation to thrive, you need a lab. In my opinion, I'm calling it the Indian consumer lab, right? There is a customer, whether it is the retail, whether it is MSME, whether it is corporate, they are kind of hungry for consuming various innovative products and services into the market, basically. So there is a lab which is ready for all of us to kind of innovate and deliver those kind of products and services, right? That's the most important part of it if you really look at, right? Because without the consumer lab, I don't think there will be anybody to consume those services which we are trying to innovate. The second most important characteristic, if you really look at from this angle, is the whole government push, right? As I mentioned earlier, while earlier government was more focused on the financial inclusion part of it, but if you really look at the recent budget, majority of the focus is on the innovation aspect of it, basically. Whether you look at, as an example, 100% FDI in insurance sector, or the SWAMI fund, which has been put together for supporting, all the stalled housing projects and the fintech-based real estate solutions. I think there is an asset monetization plan which we are looking at to unlock around 10 lakh crore for the infrastructure in enabling fintech and NBFCs to participate in the financing aspect of it, basically. The gift city reforms. I'm saying there are numerous which is there, including on the literacy aspects which government pushing. So government is not here just to be like sitting aside and only the private and the tech players to, kind of play, but enabling through various budgetary and other policy making decisions to, to, to provide a platform for innovation in financial services. The other, obviously, when we talk about financial services, regulators is the key here, right? Because without regulator, we can't just generally launch or consume any products and services. And the regulator itself is not, forgot about being in a role of only watchdog, but they are actually becoming a big facilitator, right? With things like a wholly owned subsidiary like RBI Innovation Hub as an example. Okay, the kind of sandbox framework they provide, and if you really see some of the recent strategic priorities which have been highlighted by RBI, they all align towards providing the right platform and approach towards the innovation part of it, right? So some of those things become very extremely important, and if you look at the focus is on frictionless credit. I'm sure you must have heard about is the platform which RBI wants to provide. There is a lot of woman-centric, so that there is a, the focus is also on the other side of the gender in terms of, gender-neutral financial services, products and services, right? And then there is a strategic push which I mentioned about, whether it is the payment systems or expanding financial inclusion, or you talk about, promoting ethical AI, responsible innovation and all of that, right? So that's the third critical aspect. If you look at the fourth one, which is basically the whole tool and the technology which needs to be available in the market, right, for participants to innovate. Apart from the DPI, digital public infrastructure, which has been spoken too much in every forum and conferences, right? There are private players which are today kind of, becoming a catalyst of this whole, okay, whether it is the large companies who are providing the infrastructure, if you really see, or you are looking at, collaboration and building digital infrastructure, the whole account aggregation ecosystem, if you really talk about, companies like Razorpay and all of that who are providing today a big banking as a service for all startups. I'm saying today you go do any online shopping, you will see them being facilitator for some of those aspects. And obviously the whole proliferation of cloud infrastructure with the cloud companies which are there today in India, and they are trying to play their role basically, right? So, and all of those other fintech innovators which are available. So the idea is that these are the four key elements, if you really look at from a perspective, is where coming together and converging to provide us the right platform and enabling us to be able to do innovation into the financial services sector. So that's the key part of it, if you really see, I wanted to talk about. Now, obviously, what's happening is these are the four key pillars under which we all are looking at. There will be a lot of, some of them are short term, some of them are medium term, some of them are long term basically, right? If you look at Open Finance and Web 3.0, it is a short term thing which is happening. Obviously, we have seen API banking, some of the large players in the market, private sector banks, they have already launched an API banking, and they are now looking at the open finance and the other aspects of it. The second one is generative AI and agentic AI. Obviously, any conference without mentioning Gen AI and agentic AI is not complete. But it's a reality today, right? If you really look at across the value chain of banking and the insurance sector, whether it is the front office, middle office, or the back office, these use cases are getting, implemented. Like one of the NBFC, large NBFC, I don't want to name, I think there was an article in Economic Times. They mentioned that last year they have saved around 150 crore rupees by using some 27 or 24 use cases of Gen AI into their ecosystem basically. So it's not just about a buzzword. It's more than that, and customers are, banks and financial services institutions are implementing some of them to provide them cost efficiency as one of the key aspect of it. ESG and sustainability, I think this is one of the key focus area if you look at most of the financial services institutions from an innovation perspective, and they are focusing a lot into it. It's again an immediate term requirement. In fact, I remember last Finovity, somebody asked what after digital. So I just mentioned quantum computing, right? In my and it is an area where obviously it's not like happening tomorrow, day after, but this is an area where a lot of interest and because when you talk about this below nanosecond speed of financial services, you are looking at a very different layer of computing data and things like that, which the traditional systems may not be able to support going forward. And for the kind of volume we are looking at from an India context perspective, again, we will have to invest into, and there are large global players who are already investing as far as things like quantum computing is concerned. But this is an area where there will be a lot of work which will be done, right? Because ultimately we are looking at a combination of APIs, combination of Gen AI, data and everything, and that can only be sustained by something like a quantum computing aspect basically. So these are the four areas in our opinion. I think in Finovity also this is the focus as I have seen, and there is a lot of work which is happening in this space. While we have put together, one slide on each of them. Okay, 1 minute. Can you? Yeah, so these are some of the numbers which are there on the open finance and the, how this is going forward and working on it. Basically, obviously, account aggregator is already happening at a speed where almost 100 million plus consents are getting processed today. UPI, we all know the huge success. UPI today, while it was limited only to India, it's getting now expanded to various other products and services and cross-border as well, right? So that's the other aspect which is happening. Web 3.0 is the next wave which will happen in terms of, trust based, transparency, traceability, and the automation to a very different level, which is going to come up basically. And then some of the other initiatives which are happening, ONDC, etc. Right? So you are linking not only to the financial services ecosystem, but going beyond that and covering various other initiatives which are happening from a government and the platform perspective. I mentioned already on the generative AI aspect of it that this is not a buzzword or a hype anymore. There are customers there are institutions who are already utilizing it. I mentioned like one of the large NBFC has publicly come out and said that they have saved 150 crore in the last financial year by utilizing it across some 24, 27 work streams basically. And it's getting utilized whether you're looking at voice bots, whether you're looking at fraud detection, whether you're looking at credit approvals, at various value chain elements, customers and institutions are, dwelling with it and utilizing it basically. I'm saying there are some research which we have also done where we are saying that, cost to income ratio can be improved significantly as far as utilization of Gen AI is concerned. This is a little more on the agentic AI part of it, but this is what I mentioned on the ESG and the quantum computing part of it. But leaving aside all of this, I think the most important part is about how do we utilize all of this going forward from a challenge and opportunity perspective, right? If you really look at the opportunity, right, I'm saying we are looking at a huge global interest in our the whole digital infrastructure which we have built over the last 1 decade. And that global interest obviously provides a key fodder for further innovation, basically. Obviously, the population is playing a big role because they are ready to consume. They are ready to be engaged. They are ready to be, you know, they are trusting technology, as we call it, right? I'm saying nobody is today inhibited by technology. All of us are very eager to go on a mobile and, consume financial services, right? Or consume financial services digitally. So that kind of inhibition doesn't exist anymore. Everybody is very eager, per se. I spoke about how the digital public infrastructure, not from financial services, but beyond that, things like ONDC and all are going to collaborate, and then bringing some new elements like AI, Gen AI, and all of that. And I mentioned about the whole public-private regulatory alignment put together provides a key opportunity for us. However, obviously, there are challenges which are there, and we have seen the amount of frauds which are happening, scams which are happening, right? The concern which is developing around the data, the privacy and aspect of it. So obviously, the cybersecurity aspect of it, right? How do we take care of it? So while we are innovating on the products and services, there has to be a very key focus on how do we address challenges like cybersecurity, the whole data privacy and ethical AI, because obviously data privacy is coming up more from a government push perspective in how the consumer and the data is handled. But the AI itself has its own challenges, right? And how do we use ethically AI into the systems and the products and services which we are building it, right? The digital divide, obviously, there is still a large population which is, if you look at the whole microfinance segment, right? I'm saying at one point in time it was a shining segment, but today it's struggling because obviously I think the adoption of that whole digital and technology has not been as great. It remained on to a very manual, or you can say a people-driven, people-dependent, basically, right? And then the bias and the data gaps, because data, if you really see, while there has been huge work which has been done, but still all these new technologies, tools can only work if there is a real and the quality data which is available, basically. So while we work on the product, services and the consumption part of it, I think some of these other elements have to be also taken care in a big manner for this whole thing to succeed, basically. So this is what I just wanted to talk about, Manojji. Any specific questions, queries, we can take it up. I didn't want to bore about what is agentic AI and Gen AI. I think all of us know it much better than what I can say. But this was just a framework which I wanted to put. Yes.
Diva? Yes, yes, English is so crystal clear.
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds very good.
I will take it that way only. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. I'm around. Yeah.